So when I was young and I went to my counselor and the discussions I would have with her when she would ask me, why aren't you in class? Why aren't you doing any of your work? Because she knew I wasn't a student I was disengaged. I knew the material. I knew I could do it, but I was disengaged. I just didn't feel like there was any purpose in the work itself. It was her job to really try to figure out what was wrong with me. I shouldn't say what was wrong with me, but why I wasn't engaged and why I was so disconnected. But we never really got to that point. Part of me wishes that she would ask me, or she would have asked me, what's going on? Like, why are you not engaged? Why are you so disconnected from the work when everybody else is disconnected? Like, what is going on? But rather than her asking me that, she immediately labeled me. And I still remember her name, and I remember my interactions with her because as an adult, if I was in her situation, I would have never talked to a kid like that. Rather than labeling someone, I would have tried to diagnose the problem. I've been working in healthcare for 17 years now, 10 in an operational leadership role, and 5 working in behavioral health. So I'm a huge advocate of for folks to, if they have the access to receive mental health services, to talk to a clinician to get them, because we could all benefit from that. In my journey in healing and addressing some of the challenges that I had growing up, I've had a lot of experience with therapists, some positive and some negative. Some negative, not because the therapists were bad, but they didn't understand who I was as a brown person from the community dealing with this stuff. They couldn't really relate to it. Some positive because they could relate to it and they knew that, or they had other clients that were dealing with something similar. I work in behavioral health, so again, I'm an advocate, but it's also something that personally has benefited me. So I tell everyone that I meet, if you have access to behavioral health services, you should take them because it can really change your life. And don't give up, because sometimes if you have a bad therapist or you have a bad clinician, maybe you're just not the right fit for them, and that's okay. Don't give up, keep trying, and eventually you're going to find someone you're going to connect with, and they're going to help you not just share your story, but also work through your story on healing and how you can be a better individual. So mindfulness is something that I really try to incorporate in my everyday life in some capacity. I'm still on this journey of healing and dealing with a lot of the traumas that I dealt with as a young kid. Even at the age of 35, it's still something I'm working through, and it's something that I'm not ashamed to talk about. Mindfulness has been a huge support and has been instrumental in my life to help me cope with a lot of the anxieties and a lot of the stressors that come with dealing with growing up with trauma. I've done exercises like breath work, yoga, seeing a mental health professional to talk about these issues. And that's been incredibly helpful in my life because it's allowed me to really take a step back, think about the why behind some of the decisions that were made when I was growing up, and understand them. Today, I don't blame my father for the choices that he made. I'm not angry at him anymore. He lived his life the best way that he could, and the only way he knew how. I don't know this for sure, but something tells me that he had a very troubling childhood as well, which is why, in turn, he couldn't do the best job as a dad that he could. So I don't blame him. But through mindfulness and through exercises, I've had opportunities to not feel like I have no options. I have a bright future. I have had a lot of great opportunities in my career. I've had great leaders have supported me and pointed me in the right direction. So I'm grateful for that. So mindfulness has been key in my journey and in my growth as a child of an incarcerated parent.